You know, one thing I'm surprised by is that the coins aren't tied to lives. Like, coins are used to restart special stages, but I'm actually surprised they aren't used to restart regular stages, but it's also kind of nice. By the way, this is kind of a moot point now. Also, I don't know if the fan is supposed to act that way, if like that's an original problem, or if that's something that was added for the Retro Engine / Origins build. But anyway, you actually can get bonus coins if you pre-ordered. Since I knew I was going to do a Let's Play, I had no issue pre-ordering the game. I may have wanted to wait in hindsight if I wasn't planning a Let's Play, but again, as someone who knew I was going to play through the game for YouTube, I figured, hey, I might as well pre-order and have the game available so I can actually like practice it, you know, figure out like audio balancing in advance instead of like immediately before recording, because this is like the closest to a day one Let's Play I've ever done, or at least I've done in a very long time. Like the amount of time between recording this and release is like, this is the same day, and again, I already managed to practice it because it was out at midnight Eastern, but also like this will actually go live relatively soon to when it's being recorded. So yeah, it's actually one of the most current playthroughs I've ever done, even though I won't be going through everything in Sonic Origins quite yet. Yeah, Starlight is just pleasant. Like, there's not a lot of weird, cheap, like, enemy placements or hazards. It's just kind of a nice, chill time. The music is great, and it's just, yeah, it's good. Like, I wish more of Sonic 1 was like this, to be honest. I would actually enjoy the game a lot more. And to be fair, I have actually been enjoying this playthrough because, admittedly, less has gone wrong than on my normal playthroughs of this game, or like previous attempts at playing the game. But in general, like, I do feel like Sonic 1 isn't one of my favorites. By the way, not flying, you can actually bump that to lower that. That's a common trick in classic Sonic. And I'm trying to actually show how this is supposed to be done, especially, you know, because obviously Sonic can't fly. Speaking of Sonic can't fly, this boss is weird if you're not playing as a character who can fly. Basically, Eggman drops these little mines. By the way, Eggman, Robotnik, there's all the constant debating over what his name should be. I kind of interchanged, to be honest, as someone who grew up with both. My first Sonic game, which was a birthday present, was Sonic Mega Collection, but the first Sonic game I technically played but didn't own until like a week later with birthday money, was Sonic Adventure 2, which had a store demo, and I played it. So yeah, technically the first Sonic game I played and owned are actually different. You can also just directly launch the mines into the Eggmobile, or you can use them to launch up to Eggman. So you have options, either works. Again, if you're Tails, you can actually kind of cheat and just fly up and save yourself a lot of time. And again, trying to do this fight relatively as intended. Yeah, this is kind of the strategy I found best. Basically let the mine launch you twice, like on the second bounce, like that. You get enough height. And also the timing lines up better when Eggman is flying by. Again, I will interchange both, and if you think this is bad now, wait till we get to Sonic 3. That's all I'm going to say for now. I definitely will have to be more bold here, because Eggman is very much not dropping mines where I am standing. There we go. Almost, but didn't have enough height, sadly. This should work, though. And we're done with Starlight Zone, unfortunately. Again, pretty good zone, so I'm a little sad it's coming to an end. And our final trial is Scrap Brain Zone. Another reason I'm sad Starlight is over is I don't like the stage. There's such a thing as making a challenging final stage. There's also such a thing as making a really annoying final stage, and this definitely falls into the latter camp. as I'm trying to jump on these platforms and not having much success. That's a very good example. We'll just take the lower path. I'm not gonna worry about that. The music is good, at least. Very good final stage music. But yeah, Starlight Zone is your little break between Labyrinth and Scrap Brain. Hey, remember what I said about the Retro Engine Sonic games would occasionally have weird quirks, specifically about being crushed by objects? Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Again, it doesn't come up as much in this game, but it does occasionally. So yeah, you have to be a lot more careful when like going like between moving blocks like this. That was on me because I kind of let my guard down, to be honest. Again, like if we're playing Sonic 3 with Chemical Plant, I will definitely be or Sonic 2, I mean, in Chemical Plant, I'm like so careful because I've played enough Mania to know how that segment can go. But yeah, there's just a lot of weird enemy and hazard placements in this game, in this zone. We have these little disappearing blocks, kind of very Mega Man actually. Yeah, like the little fire pipes that just will shoot fire up, and it's really annoying because it's really hard to predict when it's going to happen. At least I'm glad that there's a little bit of a safety net here. Not a great safety net, these moving platforms, but it's better than nothing. You know, if this was like a Dimps-made Sonic game like Sonic Rush, there would not be anything to catch you if you fell. So again, it could be worse. But again, Scrap Brain in general is not exactly my idea of a great Sonic zone. But again, I am actually faring a little bit better than I thought. You know, 1 death so far is not terrible, all things considered. I do like the progression visually of these stages. So like, in Act 1, you're kind of like outside Eggman's or Robotnik's space. Now we're inside, so I do like that. Like, as a visual detail, that's great storytelling. As a stage, this stage is not good, in my opinion. We have more of these blocks. By the way, you can only pass through them as they're flipping. You can't pass through them if they're like stationary, and it's really annoying because there is a segment where you basically have to jump up those spinning platforms, and it's really annoying because you'll constantly like bump your head on the blocks as they're solid. The buzzsaws aren't great. That is not great either. You have fire, electricity below you, and these platforms, and you actually can't pass through if they're up. So yeah, you just basically get stuck with a bunch of electricity that you have to hopefully avoid while waiting for the platforms to reset. And you also have fire to just make it even weirder to time that jump. This is the part I was talking about. If you fall, trying to actually jump back up, especially as Sonic, it's not great. Obviously, Tails can fly, Knuckles can actually glide. So yeah, if you're not playing Sonic, Sonic 1 isn't as bad. If you are playing Sonic, Sonic 1 is actually kind of rough. It's kind of odd, but I guess it makes sense. Tails is kind of like an easy mode, I guess. I don't know if that electricity can hurt you if you're not rolling, but I didn't want to take too many chances. This also feels a little scary. I'm actually going to use a spin dash just to make sure I get past that, because I don't exactly want to take any chances. I don't remember when the last checkpoint was, to be honest. Wait, we have to time this slightly carefully around the fire, and I think we're actually almost good to go here. I want to say most stages in this game went terribly long. Again, that's why the 10-minute time limit feels kind of excessive in these games, but actually ends up being a little strict in some games in particular, but again, more on that later. I'm also still having to decide if I want to go in the collections order or if I want to go in release order. I think I'll go in collection order, so next would actually be CD, which I have a lot to say about that game. Well, I think we're actually almost done. I think these swinging objects are the end. surprise, we're not done with Labyrinth. Scrap Brain Act 3 is a really fascinating level because it can be one of the easiest levels or one of the hardest levels. If you hit the switch, this will move. If you can actually outspeed this platform, you can go on this lower path. Truth be told, I've actually never noticed those spikes were there. Live and learn, I guess. So yeah, you have this lower path and the upper path. The upper path is awful. I don't think I've ever gone through the upper path without save states. Because the amount of time, this is a water level by the way, the amount of time between each air bubble is so precise, yeah, it is not fun. So you have the lower path, which is considerably easier and my preferred way of getting through the stage, because I would rather not suffer through this, to be honest. It's still not easy, mind you. There's still a lot to avoid here, like these little fire statues from Labyrinth. And we have very unpredictable, like, spinning, spiked traps all over the place, which is not my favorite. In the later part of the stage, where they end up being spaced so well that it makes it actually extremely difficult to get past. So yeah, in general, Scrap Brain is not exactly the most fair. Like, I like challenging final levels, but I don't really like cheap final levels, and especially the normal path of Act 3 definitely counts as one of the more cheap final levels. And we have reached the final zone. We have a final boss with Eggman, or Robotnik. Again, I keep going back and forth. Basically, these little crushers will move up and down. You have to dodge them. Eggman will be in one of them, and we have to basically deal damage that way. We also have to dodge these little electric things. It's actually a lot easier in most re-releases where you have to spin dash. They home in on you, so if you stand on one corner and then spin dash, you can basically avoid them every time. It's really easy. I'm going to be playing very patiently here because I would rather not get crushed. This is not exactly the most, like, deep final boss in the series, but it is actually surprisingly challenging, especially if you're trying to go quickly through it, I feel, because of, like, the unpredictability of where Eggman's going to be. Again, I will probably keep going back and forth between Eggman and Robotnik through all of these classic games. So yeah, he just happened to be on the other side, so there wasn't a whole lot we could do about it. Again, this fight's a little annoying, if I'm being honest, but not too bad. I think that was hit number 4 or 5. We're getting close to the end. Again, not too difficult, but as long as you're patient, it's not bad. If you try to rush, which, from personal experience, rushing this fight is actually not great. Yeah, if you take your time, you have 10 minutes, it's not too scary. But again, trying to actually get through this, like... I don't know how you'd speedrun this fight. I guess I'll put it that way. So yeah, I think we have 1 or 2 more hits left. Of course, you have to be on the other side of this particular arena. Standing in the middle is technically more of a viable strategy, but it is actually more risky. And with that, we have finished Sonic 1. So one thing I wasn't able to show off was you can actually destroy Eggman's Eggmobile as he's escaping. I wasn't fast enough to jump up and attack, though. Another thing is there are 2 endings. One where basically the player character will run into that same part of Green Hill. If you don't have the emeralds, obviously they won't have the emeralds and the flowers won't appear around the area, and the very last shot is different to show that Robotnik still has the Chaos Emeralds. We'll see the true ending screen in a bit. I had fun. which is not something I was expecting to say, to be honest. Sonic 1 is very hit or miss. I can't exactly recommend it. To me, it's almost like the Earthbound beginnings of Sonic, where play Sonic 2 and 3 first, and then play Sonic 1 if you already know you like the series, in order to know where everything started. If you start with Sonic 1 because of the weird enemy placement and like hazard placement, you might not want to continue playing Sonic games because of how poorly this game is aged in some regards. Again, this was actually fun. And yeah, at some point I would like to go through Sonic CD next. Well, I'll probably wait a couple months first and then go through CD, and then eventually get through 2 and then 3 and Knuckles. Again, hopefully there'll be a patch, but again, there'll probably be a separate video talking more in depth about the collection itself. Again, I'll probably be live before this video actually, because I do have things to say about that as well. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed this look at the original Sonic 1 through the Origins collection. I can't exactly say I recommend this version in its current state, but it's not bad. There are definitely worse ways to experience. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for something different.